Not shy, getting high. There you go, Clive. Did the best I could. Drove round it. Clive Mason paramotors. There we go. Got a couple more to put on. Rolling relay. Oh, there they are. Make them at a show. I don't really like the way that's kind of turned out, but it's a lot of fighting. I've got a quandary because I bought the resin. It was about bloody 80 quid altogether, I think, with the dispenser, and I've only got one nozzle, so I was trying to do everything all at once before everything sets in the nozzle. But I think that proved to be a challenge because I'm trying to epoxy these to the metalwork and do the cap strips at the same time, and I think that's too much. I think I just need to concentrate on one thing. So I've kind of fought with that cap strip. I've got it on. It's harder than you think. Look, this is a complete mess, but as long as it bonds tight, when that's set, I'll get some more filler into the corners. And make it a little bit more solid, but I guess you'll live and learn. I was told this black stuff is messy, and it absolutely is, but ultimately you won't see it, and I think the strength of the finish is the most important thing, so I guess we'll not worry too much. But there's a cap strip over the top, bit of an experiment. Let's see how we go. We'll be doing a little bit of filing and getting rid of the ends of the cap strips to blend them into the tube work. So, messy problem. Look at this. Oops, that's the kettle. Just about to have a cuppa. We got a bit neater as we came this way, but. Bit of a challenge, but let's see how well when we finish. So a little bit of jiggery pokery done. This is the rudder, as you can see. It was a little bit bent. I had to take some advice. It was twisted, and I've got a few photos of that, and I wasn't sure whether the twist was there on purpose. I know that the horn at the front is supposed to be slightly offset, but there was a twist down the rudder. Now I know when it comes to the elevator is supposed to have a twist in it, and that's to do with the loads in the neutral position, so that you've got some load even in the neutral position. But I didn't know that had to happen with the rudder, and it turns out it doesn't. I've asked some advice, and it's not supposed to be twisted. So that just must have been probably part of the manufacturing process, and it is a kit, so you have to measure these things and check them yourself. So I've taken a bit of brute force to it and straightened it up. It wasn't out by much, but it was out by enough so that it was ugly, and it's now straight. I've just put a bit of paint on here because there were a few scratches. When I straightened it, I did use a rag, but there were some scratches there before anyway, so I've just blown a bit of zinc primer over the top. This all gets hidden inside, so you don't see it anyway. It's sealed from the weather, but just to make sure it's done properly. So as you can see, the rudder's off, the horizontal stabiliser's off, the elevator's off. So I've started devolving the aeroplane to start covering things. Now here, as I said, we've started with the cap strips. I've got this black stuff. The newer stuff is, I think it's white or grey, but I've got this black stuff I bought here. I was warned it's messy, you see it everywhere, and you kind of do, and you see it on here, but I've just done one at a time. I don't have enough clamps. I've got more, I don't know where they are. I'm a messy pup. You see, this black stuff is everywhere, but it's solid, and structurally sound is more important than pretty, although we don't want too much excess on. I do wonder whether I should have masked. I know a few other people that have done this have kind of masked, but I didn't, and I didn't think to, and then afterwards I thought I should have masked a bit, it'd make it a bit neater. But when this is all dry and hard, we'll probably just whiz a bit of the excess off with a bit of an abrasive wheel. I put a wrap there just to hold this against the side, because I was missing a few clamps, and I found the wraps were a bit better than the clamps. The clamps sometimes distorted things because they're quite strong. So, well, look, hey, it's we're just waiting for it all to set. Then I'll turn it over, and we'll just make sure we've got plenty of the epoxy resin on the other side as well, to make sure that it's strong, particularly in these corners and these gaps. It's not quite set yet, still a little bit spongy. Cap strips, as you see, go over there. Then there'll be a little bit of working at the edges, filing and smoothing those so that they follow this contour, and probably even a bit of resin just to make sure that's all smooth. So that's the horizontal stabiliser. Don't look pretty, but it's going to work fine. Rudder, I'm just going to blow in second coat. Elevators on the floor, just out of the way on the blankets, and we started making progress again. I've got the cover kit, as you know. There's the fabric, big roll of fabric. Doesn't look so big, does it? But there should be plenty on there. And in here, we've got tapes and dopes, or whatever you call them, you know, all the fillers and stuff for the fabric. What's this big pouch? It's silver. I mean, a silver paste that you put in the butyl, is it butyl or butyl, I don't know, or nitrate and butyl. So what else is that? What's in here? What's that? Oh, that's the twine stuff for stringing the wings. Oh, well, there's much, but I'm sure there's enough. Okay, so I'm about to pack in, back at work tomorrow. Look, the workshop is a mess, but I did want to start reconnecting with the aeroplane. The trouble is, I think I said this before, that if you disconnect from doing these jobs, then you stop doing them and you don't make progress. And if you do a little bit, bit by bit, you gradually make progress. So I'm back on to making progress. I've got to get some more shelving, here, look, before I do the tidying. The reason I've been waiting is, you see the tools, ouch, all over the bench, is because I'll be putting chipboard up at the back to hang the tools on, clear up these benches. So a little bit messy, but we're back on track, Right, so the first one then, that was, as I said, that was me trying to do everything at the same time. And the first one's, well, it's not the greatest, but it's solid. I mean, what I can say is I'm really pleased with just how tough this resin is now that it's set. I've tried to be a little bit more methodical with the next one, and you can see here what I've done is I've actually drawn a centre line with the thickness of the rib, so that when I line it up, I can actually line it up properly, because this one was slightly out of line. You can probably see it's slightly twisted this way, hard to see because of the rib, but not enough so it makes any difference, but a bit of a learning exercise. But I imagine as I go along, everything will just get neater. The other thing is, instead of using the clamps are a nightmare because they slip on and off. When they're on, they distort because they're strong. So I've done this. I've put some tie wraps on, and they hold it beautifully. They hold it to the right contour, and it's going to make it easy for me just to run a bead, hand out there, a bead of the epoxy resin down there to seal that nicely. We'll be doing the same here. We'll be putting a bead on here, just to make that a little bit stronger. So this technique I like a bit better. As I said, I'll probably show you this is a 400mm epoxy gun, and what happens is it mixes down a mixing nozzle. This is the mixing nozzle, and as you can see, it kind of goes down these undulations, or whatever you call it, mixes the resin together one to one, and it comes out perfectly mixed at the bottom. What I did is, I'll take this, is I ordered some, but measure twice, cut once. I got a box full of them, completely the wrong size. Hey, they're not going to be any good, are they? And that's why I kind of thought, oh, I'll try and do as much as I can with one nozzle, but that turns out to be a bit of a mistake. So I've ordered a set of nozzles. I'm also going to be doing a bit of mixing, because I can squirt this unmixed, 2 beads onto a board and mix it with a, with a bit of a wooden spatula and a tongue depressor, or whatever you'd like to call it, and make some up just to do a bit of forming. So I think this technique's going to work better. and you live and learn. I'm not going to spin that round. You might see, you've probably seen from the time lapse. Can we see it here? Where is it? God, you can't see a thing. There it is. So I've actually flat wheeled that in, put a bit of paint on that edge. Can we turn it over? I don't want to ruin the good work I've done. There you go, I've turned it over. So you can see this is the one that I've tire wrapped down. And this is the one that I've done earlier. And I flat wheeled this off so that it's smooth. So you've got a nice contour. Because I caught the paint a little bit with the flat wheeling and smoothing, I just put a bit of paint on there. It sprung up at the back because I started flat wheeling the back and caught the wheel the wrong way and it just lifted it up. And as I said, I haven't put that bead of epoxy on the bottom yet, so I probably did that a bit prematurely. We'll wait for the new nozzles and then we'll tack that back down, put a bead in it, and then flat wheel that out and get that smooth. So it is progress. See, that one looks prettier already. It is progress, it is live and learn. This will be fine. I did think about taking it off, but I just think I create more mess because, you know, 0.5 millimeter perfection on these rudders isn't going to make any difference. So just to hold the form for the covering. All right, and so progress. They're nice and flat as well. And just use that edge to see how we're going. Progress. Not much progress with tidying. I'm going to go and do a bit now. Well, I'm back at home now. I'm in the boudoir, as you can see. This is where the magic happens. I did try to catch up with you on the way home in the car, but the phone was resting up against the windscreen, and all I got was a load of vibration and road noise coming through the telephone. So we're back on with the project. We've been a little bit slow recently because I've been doing bits on the paramotor and I've also been moving into the new man shed, but we need to get back into it. I need to reconnect and start picking up the pace. So I've started with the epoxy work on the cap strips and the ribs on the horizontal stabiliser. We'll also be doing the vertical stabiliser too. So new progress. It still doesn't look like an aeroplane. The aeroplane's a bit devolved at the moment now because now I've taken the horizontal stabiliser off. It looks less like an aeroplane than it did before, but we'll get there soon. If you're interested in the KFA Safari, look, it's getting quite exciting for KFA here in the UK. When I bought my kit, it was kit number 7, and now they've managed to sell 17 kits into the UK. That's 10 in the last year. That's pretty phenomenal. I've got no commercial interest at all in KFA. I'm purely just a kit builder, somebody who endorses the product because I bought it myself and because I like it. But if you are interested in buying or hearing more about the KFA Safari, the importers for KFA here are Sprite Aviation, that's Graham Smith. And if you reach out to him on his website, I'm sure he'll help you. But if you've got any questions, feel free to ask me. I am approachable. Feel free to reach out. We can even contact by telephone and such like. And I do welcome visitors down. I had a visitor recently down, Peter Thompson from Scotland, who's hoping to start his own build himself. Peter and I have got a couple of things in common. We're both interested in the amphibious float option for the aeroplane. Well, it's not actually an option, but it's something that we're going to be exploring. I'm going to fit the bush wheels on first because I live in rural Lincolnshire and most of my flying is going to be hopping in and out of farmers' fields and local airstrips. But I do want the float option as well. Scotland is not a million miles away from here. Scotland has a lot more liberal rules when it comes to freedom to roam. You can land an aeroplane in Scotland in most of the waterways and the locks. So it's pretty good if you live up that way. But I want the option for mine. I'm intending to be able to put the floats on the trailer
so that I can trailer my aeroplane wherever I want to go and be able to swap between the bush wheels and the floats depending on what kind of flying we're going to do. So he's talking about undercarriage then, the different undercarriage. I've not quite made my mind up what undercarriage I want yet as far as the bush undercarriage goes. There's a few different options from smaller wheels to slightly larger wheels. I was looking at the 27.5-inch bush wheels, but there's a couple of different options for suspension. There's the Buffalo system that KFA do, and there's also the Behringer, if that's pronounced correctly, their Alaskan system, which I quite like the look of. So undercarriage is something I'm thinking about, and it's one of the kits that I've got to buy. I've not many kits left. I've got the undercarriage kit, I need the finishing kit, and then there's the firewall forward kit, which includes the aeroplane too. So my decision for which kit comes next was, initially I was thinking about the undercarriage kit, but I might even go and get the finishing kit. And the reason behind that is there's lots of bits and pieces that I've found that I don't have in the kits that I've got that's going to allow me to progress. For example, some of the beading, if that's the right word, the strips, the wooden stripping that goes around the side that holds the fabric away from the metal aircraft, that's not in the kit that I've got. So if it doesn't come in the wing kit, which I don't think it does, it'll likely come with the finishing kit. So I might get the finishing kit next rather than getting the undercarriage kit. That can probably wait a little bit longer, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm likely to go that way. So that's the future then. The wing kit is on its way. I think it's about 2 weeks away now. There's been a bit of a strike with the South African ferries and things like that, the ships, and it got a little bit delayed, but it's on its way. It's a couple of weeks away. So looking forward to the wing kit turning up. She will start to look more like an aeroplane then. If you want to know what a KFA looks like in full action, then check out Thomas Marrow's channel. Thomas, he flies a KFA Safari out of Petite Airfield. Petite Airfield is where KFA actually are. I believe that's where the factory is. That's where the headquarters is, if the factory's not there. Thomas flies from Petite Airfield too. He's got a KFA Safari, and he's got a fantastic YouTube channel. You can check him out up there. Check out the link. I'm going to nick a bit of his footage because I was particularly taken back recently by a trip he's doing with Stefan, who's the owner of KFA Safari. They're flying around Namibia at the moment in several KFA safaris, and I thought the footage of them flying over the Namibian desert was pretty stunning. So apologies for stealing your footage here. Got about 20 seconds of it to post, but if you want to watch the whole video, then don't forget, check out Thomas, that link up there. So, I think that's about it. I don't think I've got anything else to talk about at the moment. We're getting back into things, get the ball rolling, picking up a bit of momentum. Don't forget, if you like these videos, give it a thumbs up. None of that thumbs down. I think see the thumbs down guys back again. It makes me laugh because I actually get a thumbs down before you've watched the whole video. But regardless of that, I've got a bit of a chubby stalker, likes to give it a thumbs down. So don't forget, hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon. That way you get notifications when I produce a new video. Leave me a comment down below. I read them all, like to answer most of them. And don't forget, if you like this kind of thing, the whole KFA, safari, bush planes, off-grid aviation, off-grid camping, all that malarkey, give us a thumbs up and see me in the next video. Bye for now.